Good evening. Hello, sports friends. How are you ladies tonight?
Great. How are you, Miss Kari?
Living at large. Well, of course I'm living at large. I don't know if
Of
anyone
course,
else
there's
noticed the Chiefs won last night.
two.
Yes, your team won last night. My
Hey,
team didn't fare so well in London. Sorry.
Yeah, that was weird, by
well,
the way. Welcome
Sunday my
to.
team didn't fare so well. However,
Well,
as
no,
our
no, you've
friend
got great
of the
news.
show, huh?
You've got great news.
I
So let me
did, but you know
quickly
what? That'll be our
introduce.
happy news. And I'm going to read the text to you, ladies, that Dom Derubis sent me because I laughed for a good 30 minutes.
Let me introduce everyone real quick, and then I want Jen to do her happy dance and share all of her excitement. So
Okay.
we have Jen, the professional um, fan, here in the house with us tonight, of course, and she's going to be bringing us. She's been at the ACC event today, so we've got some insight on that. We've got Candy from the South Florida Tribune, bringing us all kinds of great information, and repping the Packers as well. And then, of course, it's me, Carrie, and my Chiefs, and we're ready to kind of rock it tonight. So, Jen, please, please, please share with our viewers your cool thing that happened this week for the Panthers.
So, as our very good friend of the show and a sideline sports contributor, and also part of Kneecap Biting Lions podcast, something like that. Sorry, Dom. Sorry, Jeremy. Dom Derubis texted me, "Congratulations on winning your team's version of the Super Bowl this year." I had to share that because I literally laughed for a good half hour after that.
Touche, that is awesome.
I'm not doing the chunky fat girl dance for you girls. My brother was the only one privileged enough to see that. Thank God he didn't put it on TikTok. And thank God he didn't record it because he's looking at me like I'm crazy. But as we all know, Matt Rule has gone back to school. So, hi, Will. And that made me so happy. What even made me, no, they did totally clean house. They promoted Steve Wilkes, who had been with the team previously. And he was part of the team, the coaching staff that we went to the Super Bowl with. Don't worry, ladies. I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not delusional. However, what is important with Steve Wilkes becoming our interim head coach is that he is going to bring back Keep Pounding. In fact, during his press conference today, he even said he had a TV monitor beside him, and he said, "Keep pounding. That's what this season's all about. That's what the Carolina Panthers are all about." Hell yeah.
That's
Sorry.
exciting, especially for the fact that this is the year that you got to honor Sam.
Yes, exactly. And honestly, like, I was so excited and exuberant all day yesterday. I wore myself out. Like, I could not stop smiling. Now, they did get rid of Phil Snow, and at first I thought that was crazy, but then my husband was telling me and showed me that he saw where they were showing that Phil Snow would actually go into meetings with Mr. Tepper and Coach Rule, and Phil Snow would pretty much take over the entire meetings. So, but it's funny because if you looked at any of his press conferences, a lot of his press conferences, he's throwing shade at Matt Rule. It was pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was hilarious. However, you can't do that. David Tepper would have to literally kick Phil Snow out of the office. And then y'all saw this morning, I'm sure, some controversy over David Tepper's press conference. I think David Tepper is not an eloquent speaker. He's doesn't really plan things out. I think he misspoke a little bit. So I personally, as a PSL holder, or my father's PSL holder, I split the cost of the tickets with him. I wasn't offended by what he said because I understood what he was saying. Because there's $60 million laying on the table for him, but he had to understand sunk cost fallacy. And if you're a billionaire, numbers that we cannot imagine, and he's a billionaire 14 times over, then $60 million is $60 to us. So Whatever. You should have gotten rid of it.
Right.
But my team's back on track. We got Keep Pounding back. And boo you, Matthew Rule. And you are very rude to me on multiple occasions, sir. Get your manners in check. Thank you.
I guess it kind of proves that sometimes a college coach can't cut it in the NFL.
Exactly.
Well, they did
bully.
They did talk about this yesterday on the shows, and like with the failed experiment with Matt Rule and Urban Meyer, it's going to be hard for anyone else to jump from one to the other. And I'm like thinking, yes. I think there's it's a different atmosphere for you've got they're kids, they're young adults in college it's not a job as much as it is a passion at that point.
Correct.
And you recruit them more yourselves in the college ranks.
And then when you go when you're in the professional, it is men doing a job that they are passionate about. I mean, let's not sacrifice, diminish that, but it's grown men doing a job. And the way that the rumors that you've heard around both of those two gentlemen, where they were not leaving the boy mentality or the young men mentality and remembering they're working with grown men, and the respect level has to be different. It just has to be. You're no longer a coach and a guidance counselor. You're more this is a professional environment, so it needs to have that professional level of respect. And I don't think they brought those into the organizations.
And what a lot of people don't know or recognize, Matt Rule was essentially also the GM, which is why when Scott Fitterer came in, he said, I'm in on every deal. When we brought Cam back last year, David Tepper and Cam Newton have a great relationship. Scott Fitterer wanted Cam back. Matt Rule did not. You would never going to see any lovey-dovey between those two. Matt Rule was superseded, but for a year and a half before that, it was everything Matt wanted. And I think Matt wanted Baker, but the difference is I didn't want Baker because I wanted Baker's career resurrected, right? And he did well last year. He took the Browns to the playoffs with a broken shoulder. Let's not negate that fact.
Right.
And but that's because Stefanski knew how to scheme around Baker Mayfield. Matt Rule can't scheme his way around a McDonald's French fry shaft. Just saying. And I don't know. But I'm happy he's gone. Yay. We've got the interim head coach that I was fairly confident we were going to get back. So, and I'm just happy that we've got Keep Pounding in. I'm not delusional. I don't think we'll win this weekend. We're down to PJ Walker. I like PJ. We need another quarterback. We literally are down to one quarterback right now.
I found it interesting that you guys had the top two quarterbacks, and I may be pleased because I didn't sleep much last night. Was it the same class that Josh Allen? So Josh Allen, Darnold, and Baker all came out of the same class. Am I right?
Yeah. And keep in mind, Kari, we've had 3 different starting quarterbacks at the beginning of the year for 3 years. We've had 7 starting quarterbacks in 2.5 years.
So I was just thinking, as I was watching it, this was being discussed before Tepper, let go. And I was just like, what is going on? This is me looking and I'm thinking, knowing all that we've talked about, Jen. I was like, y'all got a number 1 draft. Y'all got a top 10 draft, and you can't even get a winning season.
Okay, I need to find something because I saw a post earlier and I think it's one of my things.
I think there's a definite difference going from high school to college and then from college to pros. And I really think your quarterback's coach and your offensive coaches really play a key role in the beginning. And I think there has to be consistency because, like, if
Yes.
you look at a Matthew Stafford with the Lions, he did not do very well in the beginning, but they changed all the time. They were changing this coach or the offensive coach or, and I think part of that plays a key role in developing quarterbacks in the NFL.
Agreed.
I mean, I look
Agreed.
at like Green Bay situation, and we've had two, great quarterbacks for a long time, and we've been lucky and fortunate, but we've kept them with that consistency, whereas some teams just haven't been able to. And I always find it funny when they talk about like the Bears have had, and I don't know how many it is, but compared to we've only had 2 quarterbacks, they've had umpteen quarterbacks.
Right.
Another comment Steve Wilkes made today. My history with this organization is when we won 3 straight NFC South championships. I know what it takes. I've been around here when it was good. We've been to the Super Bowl. To be able to get us back to that point is the reason I accepted this job.
That's awesome.
And then, like, he was showing out, when Matt Rule came in, he had Bradbury, he had Luke, he had Burns, he had like the Luke Shaq, like all these people. He has Burns and Shaq left. He had Cam on the offense. He had Greg. He had Christian. He had I forgot Trey Boston on defense too. He had someone else. I forgot who else he had when he came in. Everybody's gone except for Christian on the offense. And Taylor. He had Taylor Mountain too.
Well, I am super excited for you about the direction your team is finally going into. We're going to kind of shift some gears a little bit. Candy, do you want to talk to us about what Straw was able to do recently and how that's impacted the sport, in your opinion?
So we're talking, since right now is baseball and playoffs, we're going to switch from a little football to a little baseball, the diamond here. And the Cleveland Guardians outfielder Miles Straw said he actually received death threats after he was involved in an incident with fans at Yankee Stadium way back in April. And it happened because fans were throwing trash at him on the field after one of his teammates delivered a walk-off hit. Now, they are saying that part of it was instigated by him because one of his players was injured on a previous play, and fans, as medical personnel were going out on the field to check on him, the fans were cheering. And they're like, you don't cheer when someone is injured, and mocking them. And he kind of climbed the fence and was kind of, yelling at him and stuff like that. Basically, he said the Yankee fans are brutal. They're the worst fans on the planet. He respects the team on the field, but the fans have just gotten out of control. And I agree. There's no reason. And I'll be honest with you, I was at the Miami Hurricanes game on Saturday, and someone threw a beer can at the players. Now, they didn't get too close to them, but threw a beer can onto the field. There's just no reason for this. I don't understand why fans are. I understand we get passionate, but don't try and injure the players that you're watching.
Correct. It's a college game.
Correct.
90% of those kids aren't going to the pros. I mean, well, it's the Hurricanes, so
I know. But I mean, we're talking about Yankee fans, though, too. Like,
right. You just don't do that. It's out of control. And this sense of self-entitlement and narcissism as a fan has to go away. Like,
well, I mean, we even saw it. We've seen it in it actually touching all sports because there was the basketball incident where I just remember I'm like getting blurbs here, but we're seeing it not just isolated to football or baseball. It's across the board. And I do think it has a lot to do with entitlement. It's like, I'm entitled to do whatever I want to. I paid to be here. Well, yes, you did pay to be there. But you also have to provide, you bring in a level of respect that is due to your surroundings.
You paid to be there, but so did your next door neighbor or
Right.
your neighbor who may have their kids with them.
Correct.
Or you might be a kid on a scholarship playing the game. Or, I mean, let's face it, the Yankees and Guardians, I know they're Major League Baseball. They're paid players to play the game. If they're going to get injured, it shouldn't be because a fan did something to them because they're upset.
Right.
I mean,
they're
taking out the frustration and anger on players or on others has magnified, I think, ever since before COVID. And it's just getting to the point where it's sad. It really is sad.
I think
and it started with vulgar language. Like, I really remember a lot of the vulgarity was with the NBA. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm okay with being wrong. But you can't do that. You have to respect yourself. You have to respect your neighbor. Like,
you enter a facility, and I think back to, even after 9/11 in that first baseball game, you're walking into a facility and you're representing, when you walk into that facility, you're representing not only yourself there, you are representing that facility, your team, and the current, just the current vibe of what's going on in our nation. You think back to after 9/11, that was a very, people had a lot of respect for each other. The people that were standing arm in arm singing and waving flags and all of this, there was a unity across our nation.
Yes.
That unity has corroded. Yes. And we see it now everywhere, including places that are supposed to bring us joy and bring us to a place of escape.
Correct.
The sports world is an ultimate escape place for us. I will never be a talented sports player. Never was going to. I mean, Grace would have been a perfect name because I'm not graceful. So it would have been a very funny thing for me to be named Grace.
Carrie Grace.
Listen.
It's okay. My middle name should be Grace instead of Cheryl.
So that being said, I enjoy watching talented people do what their gift is. It is fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And it's frustrating when you see that fans, and it's not a conglomerate of people, it's those just little pockets of people that have taken this and they're like, my experience is far bigger and better than what you should have, and this is what I'm going to make it be me. And that's sad to me. That's very sad to me.
I'm not going to lie. I was rude to a 49ers fan on Sunday. Not because they were a 49ers fan, but there was a true medical emergency and the stands behind me. And I had gotten out of our row to go get a refill of my popcorn because I refuse to give David Tepper more than $8 right now until he fired Matt Rule. And so but literally it was a true medical emergency. Like, HAM healthcare had been up in the stands taking care of this person. This individual had a seizure or a stroke or something in the stand. True medical emergency, right? And they had to bring him down in one of the special wheelchairs. I had to stop because I thought they had already exited. As I was exiting, I noticed that the little mini ambulance golf cart thing was still there. And the person was literally right at the base of the stairs and hadn't been put into the ambulance golf cart thingy yet. And this 49ers fan was like, are you going to stand there? Are you going to move or just stand there? Go, for the time being, I'm going to stand here. And you can too, sir, because I've been hearing you yap about your Niners all game. So hush it, because I shouldn't have been able to hear you. We have a fellow football fan who needs medical attention. But I'm going to be rude for that. I'm sorry. And you can bite me. Like,
Right.
I didn't tell him to bite me, but well.
She made
now,
her express and express that for her.
Yes.
It's just sad. It's just sad.
I'm
going to give a quick update that I will tell you that the Astros did walk off home run the Seattle Mariners, who are the first time that they've been in the playoffs in 21 years. So I'm kind of torn because my team is not in the playoffs anymore, but the Mariners haven't been there. Mine haven't been. Seattle hasn't been there in 21 years, but it would also be nice to see Dusty Baker do well.
Who's your team? The Twins, right?
Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, Brewers, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking Twin Cities. I don't know why I said the Twins. Sorry.
Ironically, Jen's the Cubs, you're the Brewers, and here I go. I'm the Cardinals.
All right. What you got for us, Kari?
Well, other than a very disappointing playoff, the kind of neat thing that has happened to the Cardinals that is going to be something that is very hard to uproot what has happened this year. No final word yet on if Adam Wainwright is going out, but we do know that Pujols and Molina retired this year together. In fact, that's why Pujols had the year contract, is to come back in and go out with his friends. But then, Pujols hit his 700, past that 700 mark. Interestingly, when he hit 700, it had been an even split of 400 right-handed batters or pitchers and 300 left-handed pitchers. I'm like, how ironic that it was ended on zeros. I thought that was really cool. Something else that was really interesting about his home run thing is he had home run against all 30 teams because he did leave the Cardinals for a while. In all 9 spots of the batting order, in every inning, on every day of the week, on every count at bat, he had 62 homer games. He had 4 3-homer games. So that's pretty impressive if you don't mind me saying.
It's all right.
No, I don't mind you saying that
tomorrow, but
in fact, Kari, I have an interesting fact for you too. And it happened against my Brewers. Christian Yelich took the first pitch when Wainwright was playing catch with Molina for the 320, I believe it's 325th time. And that was a record between pitcher and catcher.
Yes, I was going to bring that up because that's the longest battery. They unseated. Hold on here. I
think you girls need a baseball show.
No, because all I did was look this up because baseball is a gateway drug back to football. So when my team is doing really well, football lasts a whole lot longer. So I can take football a little bit longer. So anyway, what was hold on here.
Yeah, because I know Yelich purposely took the first pitch because they wanted to save the ball.
Yes,
and they didn't want him to hit it because they didn't know if a fan would give it back to them. So they said that was a real classy gesture. So
absolutely, they unseated Mickey Lolish and Bill Freehan from the Detroit Tigers that played together from 63 to 75. But just to think about, and the picture of the two of them walking off the field together, and the Cardinals really did a great job at doing a tearjerker. And they said, "Thanks for playing catch with me all these years." And I'm like, "Oh, okay,
that's cute."
Yeah, my husband's a Detroit Tigers, so the Lolich, he was kind of sad that they took that away, and he's actually had Mickey Lolich on one of his shows before.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool. But I just think that's pretty cool. I mean, and
You're not going to see that again.
I got to see Yachty within 5 feet, maybe. He rehabbed several times in Springfield, so I got to see him during his rehab assignments. And he's very passionate, but he's also a very considerate person. I mean, watching him interact with the people that were there on the field, and like I'm saying, I'm like standing 5 feet above him, right? It was really neat to watch him in his professional environment, and it would still be very respectful and all about, you could tell that he was very passionate, but you could also tell that he was very considerate. He's a very considerate person as well. So that's kind of neat. And we know that Pujols has a soft spot for those with special needs, so those two gentlemen deserve the recognition, most definitely. Wainwright as well, because some of his work as well. So proud that they were Cardinals. Not gonna lie.
You know what? As much as smack as you talk, I'm just saying y'all need a baseball show. I'll come on so you can verbally abuse me and my Cubs.
Well, I've been on your Confidential before, so
you have. Mm-hmm. You won our debate too. And Cole McCain, I'm sorry, your Braves lost.
Yeah, cool.
And if it makes you feel any better, Cole, my Cubs, they didn't lose because they didn't play.
Cool. Rob is very not upset about that. They lost. Just so you put that out there.
All right, cool. I'm seeing another topic on your Eagles podcast. I'm just saying. And then did we want to go over our final topic? I know we kind of wanted Megan. Megan couldn't be here tonight. There was a work emergency. So Megan, you're missed. You are loved. And Noah, Megan has not skipped bail on us. She's just had a couple of things pop up like I did this summer. So we're thinking of you, Megan, and we love you. But yes. Who wants to start?
Okay, so I think I got my sappiness.
Get your tears out.
Well, no, I think I got my sappiness out on my Facebook post, and although I do have my tissues here, a year ago we lost the voice of a very good friend, a very sports-minded individual that saw the best in many people, and all I can say is Alex Fleming saw something in me that I didn't know existed. I mean, I knew I loved the Chiefs, and I knew I enjoyed the game. That man saw something beyond that for me, and he pushed and prodded and coaxed and finally said he wasn't taking the word no and put me on the NFL carousel. That was 3.5 years ago. And today marks, we're on 2 different, with you ladies, we have 2 different podcasts. I'm still on that NFL carousel, and I would not have taken that step. I would not have boldly walked into something I knew nothing about, except for my love of the Chiefs, had Alex Fleming not stood beside me and said, "You're doing this." And so I miss him. I miss him a lot. I miss his guidance. I miss his quirkies. And I also miss his insight on how things, he always brought a different view for me and made me see things more in a 360 view. And I appreciate that. And I miss that. But Godspeed, Alex. I love you.
Yes, we met Alex at a Jags game, believe it or not. We were covering the Jags, and we met him, and he did a number of broadcasts with my husband. One of the things I will say is he always could bring laughter, and he always had a smooth voice. Like, some people just have this harsh, raspy voice. He had one of those smooth voices that you just wanted to listen to. Like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And his insights, he just could light up, the airwaves and light up the room. And we miss him here very much, very much. Never a dull moment with him.
So Carrie and I have known each other a very long time, like 7 years or so, roughly.
Right.
And our friend Nick started a shit page, Unlimited Sports. And one day I noticed that this one guy just kept writing these really amazing articles. Like, I loved the way he wrote. Like, I can paint a picture with my words verbally. I'm not an artist with the written word. Alex was. So I hit up Kari first and I was like, hey, what do you think if we hit this Alex swimming dude up? Like, he's always posting from the Orlando Magic or different games. It was like, and he's a really good writer, but he's like the most, like, only one who really posts on our page. So she was like, I like it. So we took it to everybody else. And we, and he, and I'll read yours in a minute, Will, as well as yours, Jay. And no, Jay, I did not fart. I'm not showing that because this is sentimental. But he, talked to me. He called me up one day and he was like, hey, I love how passionate you are about the Panthers. I'm starting this new show. He said, would you do this? And I was like, I've kind of always wanted to, but do you really think I'm worthy? I was like, there's so many more people that know more than me. He was like, honestly, you're passionate and level-headed about your Panthers. He was like, you're the perfect mix. And I was like, okay. So then I helped nudge Kari into it a little bit, I think. I'm not sure. But I was so excited when Kari finally decided to do it. Today was also my first media day. For other than any some Zoom calls I did that, thank you, John Shearer. John Shearer hooked me up with a while ago. And then you're funny, Jay. They and today was a year ago he passed. And it was ironic because Kari was the one who called and told me, as I had just gotten into Santa Fe, New Mexico for someone else's funeral who was very special to me. And she died a week ago today, or a week and a year ago. So 53 weeks ago today. So it was very heart-wrenching day for me. It was very prolific today.
He lit the fire for you.
Yep. Without Alex, we wouldn't have this show.
Absolutely not.
Without Alex, I wouldn't have 3 amazing new friends. Okay, 2 new amazing friends, because Kari, you're old school. You don't
I was like, wait a minute.
And I wouldn't have Jay telling me I fart all the damn time. Without Alex, so maybe that's not a good thing.
I'm just thinking of all the personalities.
Will said he and Jennifer were the ones who brought me into sideline sports and the NBA carousel. I'm forever thankful for that.
He had a way of merging personalities,
yes,
and differences into something amazing. And if you were to look,
write more beautifully than Alex.
Oh my gosh. He's like, read this and tell us what you think. And I'm like, why aren't you doing this as your main profession? First, I thought he was, to be honest. I thought he was a high-paid sports writer. I'll be really honest, just because
he should have been.
It was that good. But his ability to bring people together over a love of a sport is unsurpassed by anybody else I've ever met. And hats off to him. I know he is extremely excited about where his vision has brought others, and how we have taken what was his vision and grown it. And I sit here and think, Alex, I didn't think I could do this, and look at me now. So
yeah, he'd be proud of you.
He'd be proud of all of us.
That's when you sass me.
So we don't want to keep all of.
Yeah,
we can talk for hours about our friend,
right.
And how much he's missed, and how special he was, because he was special to every person.
Yes, like everybody who even had one conversation, Like even Jay said, Jay, I'm going to put your comment back up. I had one conversation with him inquiring about the NFL carousel. My one regret was not going on the show when he was running it. I know what he meant to everyone. Rest in peace, King Alex.
He was everyone's brother. He was everyone's confidant. And when you were talking to him, you were the most important person in his life at that given moment.
What'd you say?
I said, when you were talking to him, you were the most important person in his life at that given moment. And that is a true gem of a person.
Yeah.
So
and he respected all individuals, even if he didn't like somebody.
Exactly.
He respected them.
He did. So thank you for taking time to let us walk down memory lane to honor a man.
And I know you guys had a really special bond too. Like a totally different special bond. And I loved hearing some of the stories Scott's told me and you've told. I want to hear more. And I'm still saying you two need a baseball show.
We want to thank all of our viewers for taking the time to watch us. We appreciate you. We love you. We love the fact that you find us interesting enough to keep coming back. Thank you for letting us walk down memory lane for Alex. And we bring peace and love to all of you. Have a great evening.
Yes. And one comment. You don't understand what a quiet room is, baby doll. I love you. That's like me understanding what a quiet room is. I love you, Will. I'm just picking on you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.